Google "black man dies first" or "black dude dies first," and you will get about 1 billion results within a second. This trope is very well known and very noticeable in movies.
Oh, cool. Hey, snag one.
Snag one?
Yeah, snag one and put him in the bucket.
I seen this movie. The black dude dies first. You snag it.
Now, what is the significance of this recurring trope? In order to understand why the black man dies first in movies, you need to understand symbolism.
Symbolism is the idea that things represent other things. What do we mean by that? What we mean is that we can look at something, let's say the color red, and conclude that it represents not the color red itself, but something beyond it. For example, passion, or love, or devotion, or maybe the opposite, infidelity. The color red can also represent blood. It can also mean stop. When you approach a traffic light, it can symbolize communism. In other words, it can mean anything you want it to mean. In other words, it means everything, or it means nothing.
Symbolism, the use of symbols in art, literature, movies, etc. to represent ideas. We use this clip from Oregon State University because Gilad Elbaum used the color red as an example to explain the additional meanings attached to the color red itself. Same thing, a lot of negativity associated with black, and it's not a coincidence because this is war. This is part of psychological warfare, and this system indoctrinates people from a very young age.
We tested 145 kids at 6 schools spread across 3 states. The schools had 3 different racial makeups: majority white, majority African American, and racially diverse.
Why do you think that Brenda pushed Sarah?
Because she wanted to get on the swing.
What the research found might surprise you. The first headline: overall, young white children are far more negative about interactions between the races than young black children. When white children were shown these pictures, they had a negative interpretation 70% of the time, meaning they were much more likely to say this:
how did he fall off?
Bobby pushed him. I think Brenda pushed Sarah off the swing.
Do you think that he did something that was good or bad?
Bad.
Than they were to say this.
And how good would you say what Bobby is doing is?
Super good.
Super good?
White kids are also far more likely to think the white child and black child in the picture are not friends, and think their parents wouldn't approve of them being friends. But why? Responses like this might begin to explain.
Do you think it would be as easy to ask your mom to have someone over who's the same skin color and someone over who's a different skin color?
Yeah, that might be hard.
What about it might be hard?
Because all my people in my family are white, and not most like people that my mom knows and dad knows are black or brown or anything.
So it might be kind of hard to ask your mom to have a friend over who's black or brown?
What do you hear?
I don't want to be your friend because I have white skin and you have black skin.
Okay. What is it about skin color that sometimes kids think they might not want to be friends?
Because they don't like the color, like they don't like brown, so they want a white color skin friend.
Let's say this is an ambiguous situation.
Our expert, Dr. Melanie Killen, says children's own experiences with race, along with the messages they hear at school and at home, the characters in the TV shows they watch, what they see online, all of those have an effect. But the subtle messages adults might not even realize they're sending also have a huge effect on children. Dr. Killen calls it implicit bias.
When we're in a situation in public, we're in a room, and we have an opportunity to ask 2 different people for help for something, and we might just, be more likely to ask the person of the same race and somebody an opposite race for help. All of that really has a very powerful influence very early in children's lives, much earlier than we think.
But if all kids internalize what they see and hear about race, why are young black children more positive about race than young whites? Remember, 70% of young white kids saw these and thought something negative happened. When black children looked at the same pictures, only 38% saw something negative.
Get them while they're young and bend their minds. Whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become a reality. Your subconscious mind is 30,000 times more powerful than your conscious mind. That's why this indoctrination is everywhere. Now let's give you an example of what happens when a black man is going against the grain on the big stage.
It's December 26, 1908, and world's heavyweight champion Tommy Burns defends his title in Sydney, Australia against Jack Johnson. This is the scene at Rushcutters Bay in Sydney, Australia at 1 o'clock in the afternoon as an electric excitement has captured the fans as they prepare to watch Burns make the 12th defense of his heavyweight championship. Round 12 was all Jack Johnson. In round 13, it appeared as though the police were going to step in and stop the fight as a result of Burns' weakened condition and the terrible beating he was taking. Here in round 14, Johnson rushes in, lands an uppercut, 3 left hooks, a tremendous barrage of punches, lefts and rights which have Burns helpless. At this very moment, in the early seconds of round 14, the police shut off the motion picture cameras and stepped into the ring, awarding the heavyweight championship of the world to Jack Johnson. Here, in slow motion, you can see the blistering attack. Burns was absolutely defenseless. Just seconds before the police stopped the motion picture cameras and entered the ring to halt this very one-sided fight.
The symbol of black men as inferior to white men was not upheld, so the police stopped the cameras and stopped the fight. This is the Matrix, guys. Agent Smith had to intervene because people were about to see the truth. People were about to wake up. This was in a time where white people truly believed a black man couldn't beat a white man in a fight. Where did they get this idea from? Jack Johnson became the first black world heavyweight champion in 1908. Champion. Someone or something, especially a person or animal that has beaten all other competitors in a competition. Competition, guys. The police did not just stop the fight. Boxing is much bigger than that. Boxing is about race, nationalism, and masculinity. Black fighters have been dominating the sport for decades and just can't seem to get their flowers, the proper recognition in their own country.
So the real problem is black boys have a difficult time seeing strong black male role models, which is why these kind of shows are very important.
What about Eddie Murphy?
As a positive male role model?
Yes.
I have concerns about that. I respect his ability to use his talent, but there are other ways. I mean, images are very important.
Now check this out.
You scared people, Huey. The Black Panthers scared people.
Anytime the black man attempts to change the slave image, he will scare white people. So the Black Panther Party, I thank you. When you said that we scared people, that means that we were creating a positive black image for ourselves.
Carlton, you were...
This is gold. They both mentioned the importance of image because Eddie Murphy was definitely not scaring people. You could hear the crowd laugh when his name came up because that's the first thing that comes to mind. Jokes, not serious, not a threat to the system. The same system that is responsible for the Black Panther Party for self-defense. That's why the police stopped the cameras from rolling before the world could see their champion fall by the hands of Jack Johnson because they were protecting their image, the image of white supremacy. Now, Clubber Lang was scary, intimidating.
What's your prediction for the fight then?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
He humiliated Rocky, but at the end of the day, Rocky beat him in humiliating fashion.
Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on, ain't so bad. Ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid.
And that's the essential part of the story. Eddie Murphy explains the psychological effect of these Rocky movies.
People get drunk, go to the club and start fighting. I had a fight with an Italian dude. Right after around time Rocky came out. Italian, white people, period. Y'all go crazy after y'all see a Rocky movie because y'all believe that shit. Because the movies are so emotional and so real. You sit there and go like, hey, this is real. After they see Rocky, they come out the theater charged. They be like, all right, rock on. All right, slide. Hey! Rock out! Rock out! Go people standing on line and shit. Hey, Paisan, you going in to see Rocky right now? Yeah, great fucking movie. You can really do that. You can really do that. You see that big Moulignage stand over there? You see that black guy over there at the line getting some candy? Yeah, all right. Now he's about 6'5". I'm 5'2".
The way Eddie Murphy tells the story, it loses the weight of seriousness because he is a comedian. Billions of dollars are spent to make sure that the image of black men is a laughing matter. Black people are the biggest group of people that believe in a God that doesn't represent their own image. The foolishness, but at the same time, the ignorance, because this system was never built for black men to thrive. The black man dying first is a symbol of weakness, incompetence, discouragement, inferiority, and it recurs time and time again, because that's why the images of black men that represent strength, power, ability, etc. are destroyed or manipulated. Do you think it's a coincidence that so many ancient Egyptian statues have their noses broken off? They want you to believe that black people were always enslaved and never had empires. That's why the CIA and the FBI terminate so-called messiahs. Do your research and you will find that many black men rose to the occasion to change this negative image black men have. There's a lot of power in images, symbols. So turn off the TV and do your own research. Knowledge is power. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change. Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.